All righty, folks, he's back. Yes, he's going to BPCon. Who's going to BPCon? Leave comments below. Mr. Chad Carson, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well, Michael. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I love about what you and I are doing is not only helping people get started, seeing what's possible, leading by example, but we also we're invited to speak at a lot of events. I am actually hosting my first event in Vegas in February, and I just thought I would talk to you, somebody who's been to at least one, if not multiple bigger pockets events and other events. What would you be focused on? Right? Because I'm going to be spending tens of thousands of dollars getting 300 plus people in a room for a weekend. And I'm just curious, what would be some of the goals if you were hosting that event?
Well, I mean, I think there's two tracks. I always enjoy hearing interesting speakers. Like I think the people who have I want people who think outside the box, who think differently. So I know you're going to focus on that and getting the right people in the room. The other part that for me, like for the last 21 years, I'm just an education junkie. I love learning. I'm just a student of the game. And for me, a lot of the learning goes on behind the scenes at events. And it's the lunches, there's even a cliche about, in the hallway of the hotels where a lot of the education goes on, because you're talking to people who are either, some of them are the same place you are. Some of them are like, wow, you just stumble upon this person who's just kind of quiet in the corner, and she has like 150 properties and she makes $20,000 a month. And you're like, who are you? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
why don't I know you?
Yeah, it blows you away. So then you're just picking their brain. And so you will stumble upon so many amazing people. But I think people who are going to go to your conference obviously are going to be stellar. They're going to be attracted by a certain value system. And so I think going there, you should expect to take notes and listen to as an attendee, but as a person organizing. And I think creating little environments and spaces and events for people to have those spontaneous meetups, those are super valuable.
Yeah, and we're gonna have plenty of time over the 2 days. It's fun to hear you talk about this because I see it the same way. The other thing I think we're gonna do different than any event I've been to is it's gonna be audience driven, right? I'm gonna show you the agenda. This is a draft of it. I feel great about it. But everybody's gonna talk for 10 or 15 minutes, maybe PowerPoint, maybe not. But then I'm gonna have microphones on the left and the right where people will line up and ask questions of the audience or of the speakers, because I don't know. I don't want death by PowerPoint. I don't want back of the room nonsense. Buy it now for this or that. Nobody's selling anything. It's all giving. And we're going to have plenty of breaks and networking. And there will be, people that, buy the VIP ticket will have even more intimate stuff, which is already sold out. So I'm not selling, but I'm trying to do something that I've never seen done before. So we'll see how it goes.
I love that. To me, it reminds me in your YouTube comments, like when people watch your YouTube videos, mine as well, the learning happens in the comment section as well. Like, yeah. It's like, because that's where I get a lot of my topics. I don't know about you, Michael. Like, yep. Every time I get so many ideas from somebody saying, I wish you had a video about this, or what about this? And they're asking me really good, challenging questions. And I'm like, that's another video idea. Let me do that. So
thank you. I need more content.
Yeah, exactly, I need more content. Exactly. It goes right on my spreadsheet. So I love that idea of the audience driven topics. That makes it more fun for the speakers as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And less stressful. I mean, I don't know about you. Anytime I go to an event, have to do a PowerPoint, I'm looking at it for hours and hours. Here it's like, I don't have anything to prepare. I love it.
That's refreshing for sure.
There you go. Well, let me show you what we've got set up for the event. Some of these people you may know, some of you may not. But basically, I'm actually starting off. I don't know about you, but a lot of the people that come in my world, they're in a relationship, right? Husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, they're doing it with someone else. And many times one of the parties isn't on board as the other. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually starting this off with Jason and Jennifer Pritchard. And Jason's story in a nutshell is he's unhappy at his day job. He quits his day job. He loads up on credit card debt. He puts gets an equity line in the house, and he starts wholesaling and flipping homes and doesn't have a lot of success the first 6 to 12 months. That had to be stressful.
Yes.
Right. How did that go? Right. And this was, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. So people have heard Jason talk about that, but nobody's talked to Jen. So I'm having his wife on stage as well. And then, oh, by the way, if you fast forward, Jason and Jennifer or Jen are leading a lifestyle that most of us dream of. They vacation together every 90 days. They're making memories together. They're both retired now. They're both building a business together. So that evolution has to be poked at. So that's where we're starting. That's presentation one. is those two on stage. What do you think?
Yeah, I love it. I think the details, what I've found from talking to my audience members is the details are so interesting. And it's often, the headline is one thing, but like those little off the cuff details, like sometimes I share details of a story and I'll talk about the paint color, the house, or the floors were this, and like those details of the house are so interesting, but also the details of somebody's story, like what you're talking about. Like, what was that relationship like? What, I want to hear the dirty stuff, like about like, that wasn't good. Like Jen was pissed or whatever, like they were, my wife and I have done some candid conversations on podcasts too. And I'm always kind of interested, like, all right, well, Carrie, what did you think?
Where's
about that?
this going to go?
I'm not sure how this is going to go, but it makes for good real-time interaction as well.
Yeah, no, I think I could not imagine a better couple to start us off with. Then we're going to bring out a gentleman named Brian Adamson. He's an out-of-state investor. He lives in Orlando, but built a portfolio in Detroit, Michigan. We're going to have Sean Cannell, the CEO of Think Media.
Yeah, I love Sean. That's great.
Yeah, love Sean. So that's just the morning. That's just the morning of day one, those three.
Yeah, Sean is on my YouTuber like brain. I always like following Sean and all his pod. Saw you on the podcast with Sean. That was amazing. So good stuff.
Yeah. So then we're going to go have lunch again, back to your networking. It's going to be 90 minutes, so we're not going to cut anybody short. Plenty of food options, entertainment. I showed I did a walkthrough of the venue. Plenty of places to break off and have conversations. Then we're going to come back and talk about mindset. Because again, one of the big things I think, because this event is February, I don't know about you, Chad, but I think there's a good chance we're in a recession. Right, yeah. The economy is struggling.
Yep.
And one of the big things is there's a lot of scare, a lot of crash bros, a lot of doomers. And one of the things you got to do is protect what you're intaking. So we're gonna hit that. Frankly, the session after lunch is the hardest session. So I'm gonna give it to my boy Adrian. Then we're gonna go to Beth. She's a top 1% agent in the country. She's also she started real estate investing by house hacking as a single female, making like $12 an hour or whatever it was. So again, a plethora in a decade or so of experience. Then I'm going to bring on lenders. I have 3 lenders that come on my channel every week. They fill different needs. We're going to talk about getting money and access and all of that. Then we're going to close out day one with the uneducated economist. He heard we were throwing an event. He's like, I want to be a part of it. Simon. So Simon reached out. So he's going to close us out day one. And then we have dinner and networking. And I'm paying for a concert. Whoa. I'm going to have the Broken Spectacles, who is the house band for the Blind Center, sing to us. They're an all blind, seeing impaired band, and they're going to sing to us. And then we'll have a party. Nice. So that's a 14-hour day right there. That's day one.
Beautiful. I love it. I love the mix. I love the combination of different topics, the lending, the mindset. And the mindset to me, no matter what happens next year, we all have to like prepare for the good, the bad, the flat. And I think that this, but the mindset piece. I used to play sports. I used to play football. I played basketball. Like sports to me is like the best metaphor for how you have to approach business and life. You have to be like, if you're a tennis player and you you hit a bad serve, or the other person's just like rocking you during that game, like how you respond to that, what your mindset's like, whether you stick your head in the sand and, mope and give up, or whether you like say, let's, put your hands together and kind of say, all right, let's do this. Like, that the winners I know, that's the kind of stuff they bring behind the scenes of real estate investing.
Yeah, there's kind of 2 things that jump out to me about this event and where we might be when this goes off is where there's great pain, there's great opportunity. Mm-hmm. And if you live in the pain, even if it's not happening to you, but you live in the headlines, you're going to miss out on the opportunity. Yep. It happens every time. And then the last thing I'll say is I told people earlier in the week, we're only doing great deals. I always talk about do good or great deals. I like goods gone away until the end of January. Let's see where this thing goes. Yeah. I may reserve my right, but we're only doing great deals. Yeah. For the next 4 months, because we just don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a good mindset. I mean, there's a shift. We're all feeling the shift. I mean, but as a real estate investor, the only thing you control are the offers you make and the types of deals you do. So I think that's a great approach. And I would encourage people, some of the conversations you and I've been having, challenge yourself to do great financing deals. Exactly. Like expand your financing toolbox. Like don't just be vanilla. Yes. I mean, traditional financing is great, but like expand your toolbox. Like do something different. Try an option. Try a lease option. Try a subject to. Try private money. Yes, it's a little bit harder, but that's where you up your game. And in a recession, having those tools made me a ton of money in 2009,
Yes.
10, 11, and 12. Like it's where the foundation of my whole wealth came in.
Yeah, ditto. Mine as well. Then we're going to kick off day two. Yes, this is a day two event. Ty, he's been doing real estate investing for 30 plus years. He has experience with the guys in the 80s. So he's not only talking theory, he's talking about things that are done. And I think getting that kind of perspective is great for day two. We're going to have that ADU guy. I think one of the things you could do in California and Seattle and some other states around the country is affordable housing is an issue. And building an ADU, a JDU, an ADU in the backyard is a great way to go. So we're going to have him talk about
I'm
that.
super high on ADUs. I just did an interview recently. I'm probably going to have ADU guy on my podcast as well. But I'm super bullish on ADUs and what just generally densifying existing neighborhoods. Like I think if you can find towns that allow that and find the little wrinkles of the zoning laws. I study my zoning laws really carefully. You can find those wrinkles. That's where the opportunity is understanding the zoning and these little ways to add on units.
Yeah, totally agree. I think more and more states are going to be doing it. Seattle, California, or Seattle City, California. Vegas is starting to look at this. So I expect this to roll across the country because workforce housing or affordable housing is such a dire need. That ADU guy's a rock star. If you need an intro, happy to do it. Derek's amazing. Then we're going to change it up. We're going to bring on Dan Bird, who's my Sunday expert who talks about the stock market and has been right for like the last 18 months. So we're going to have him talk about what's going on in the stock market. We're going to bring on Bo, who's the concierge to small business loans. A lot of people are attracted by Cody Sanchez and boring businesses, but you still need to get the loans. And the beauty about Bo and small business is the same idea, creative financing. It's all there for you. And it's frankly expected in small business. So we'll talk about that. Then we'll once more break for lunch and networking. Then we're going to close out with two events. Lance Lambert, who's a Fortune editor, housing. He's going to come on and talk about housing. And then finally, we're going to close out the session with the people that really made the One Rental at a Time channel. Millennial Mike, Dion, Matt, and I will close out the session. But that's our 2-day event. I do reserve the right to change this because more and more people are being invited and may have to change this up. But that's what I'm doing for 2 days.
Congrats. This is great. Putting an event on, I've done smaller events, not to this scale, not their country there's a lot behind the scenes and it's a challenge. There's a little bit of a risk as well when you're doing it, but it's to me, the best events are it takes it beyond. If YouTube's great, if one-on-one on long distance is great, being in person with people that are part of your tribe, part of the people who you resonate with it's a whole nother level. It really is. It's inspiring. You learn a lot, the networking in the room. So I think this is going to be an amazing opportunity.
Yeah. I never thought I would do one of these, right? When I was sitting at my kitchen counter 2018, thinking about what the hell I was going to do, I will tell you that I never thought putting on an event was one of those action items. But we're going to do it. We're going to celebrate 50,000. And if this works out, I might do one a year, but we'll see what happens first.
You reserve the right to
yes.
keep it at one or to do more.
Exactly.
You have an option. You have an option.
Buddy, thank you for looking at that. Thank you for being a part of it. Just so the audience knows, I did ask. He has family commitments. He just spent time in Europe. He's doing BBCon. So not this time, maybe next year.
This would be my favorite. This would be my favorite to do your event, Mike. Yeah, I'm going to hang at home. I'm trying to be a little more home time, but thank you for having me on the show. It's been great to talk some more.
Absolutely. Where can people find you real quick?
Just search for Coach Carson on YouTube, on podcast, on coachcarson.com. I'm there and be happy to share with you and we'd love to have you over there.
We may get him in 2025, just not 2024. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks.